Hello, everyone. Let me get us set up. Happy Friday. Hello again. I was live earlier today for a little bit
Yeah.
because there's a lot happening in the shop today. But you are the crown emblem of today.
You didn't even say Jewel? I'm so surprised you didn't say Jewel.
Missed opportunity. This is my lovely friend and current housemate for the next 24 hours. Julia. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you.
Was so happy when you were. I felt so honored when you agreed so easily. Because I would have tried harder.
Really? Dang. I could have gotten more than BOBA out of this.
Wait. So welcome everyone to BOBA and BEADS.
Very California vibes.
I started drinking on the way here, as you could tell.
Mm.
It's really lovely, very refreshing. I needed the caffeine boost after today. This is going to propel me through the next hour.
All right.
And Julia was asking me, what is the next hour? Which is a fair question. And when we're kind of figure out together,
Mm-hmm.
but I have some ideas. Julia has never beaded before, but you have crafted. You are a big crafter.
I do like to craft. I find it very stress reducing. When I was younger, my mom and I would occasionally make the Sculpey beads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sculpey is huge in the bead world these days.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just for kids. Like, Sculpey's a thing.
No, I believe it. I am in no way trivializing Sculpey. Please, I'm not trivializing Sculpey. It's been a while since I've done anything remotely related to that. But you roll all the colors together and then you poke the hole and you bake them.
So you have done some beads then?
Yeah, but it was mostly the making of the clay, and then we would just have beads. Right. And then we would do nothing with said beads. So it's a very different part of the process.
Well, now I can show you a little bit of how to turn any type of bead into a piece.
Yes.
So I texted Julia earlier, and once we get going, I think you should definitely tell folks a little bit about yourself and all the awesome things you do. But might as well get starting. It's fun to chat while beading too.
Absolutely.
I texted Julia, I was like, what do you like? And I sent them the website, and they sent back oh, I like those matte stones, or the amethyst, the crazy lace. And the moment you said crazy lace, okay, that's blue. Julia might like some blues.
I do like blue.
And let me flip the camera. I went ahead and laid out some blues from my my personal bead stash in kind of this muted blue tones that I thought might I don't know, there's some nice calmness to it that I thought might work possibly could work. I don't actually know your style that well, I'm realizing. So I'm hoping to learn more about it as we go through today. But there's a jumping off point, and then of course I brought some other things.
Yeah.
Should we want to search for any other design elements. So before we get going, I brought out some pieces so you could kind of react to certain things and see what sort of stones, textures, wire versus what sort of things you are drawn to. It would be really helpful because us as a community are going to try to make a piece for you today.
Amazing.
Or with you, actually, because I'm going to put you to work too.
I'm ready. Thesis is done. Time to start beading work. Just get me in there. So actually, I was thinking after you presented this really cool opportunity.
Yeah.
Not today, but it is soon to be Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. And my brother very nicely put my name on a thing of flowers for my mom, and I was like, thanks, but also I didn't do that. And my mom is visiting soon for graduation. Yeah. And so I was thinking maybe I could make a piece that would be for her.
Wait, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And she loves dragonflies. So when I saw that, that's when the idea came to me.
Okay. Because you texted dragonflies, so I found a couple that I had here. And a nice little blue dragonfly. Do you think that could work in this
Absolutely.
vein?
Absolutely. And I love that because of the color that's in that, something with wire could be cool because I feel like it would pick up the...
Absolutely, the metallic element of it. Absolutely. So looking here, this is an example of how beads are constructed using wire. Mm-hmm. I thought I was gravitating towards doing more of a strung piece. This would be an example of a strung piece where all of these beads on the chain
Mm-hmm.
are essentially strung together.
Yeah.
And so we could focus more on coming up with different strands for the bracelet.
That sounds great.
And could possibly even do more than one strand.
Ooh.
So that you don't have to just have one, like it can kind of help make the bracelet have a more of a full feel to it.
Yeah.
By doing multiple strands. And it lets you kind of pick up some more beads and means we could kind of design around a central component where multiple strands could come out of.
That sounds great.
That was one of my ideas.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna move some of these beadies over. While I'm doing so, do you want to tell us a little about Julia's world?
Oh wow, my world?
Julia's world?
Wow.
I can also talk about you. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, I could.
Wait, did you? Because okay, I can do something basic, but I would be so intrigued to hear like whatever introduction you thought of for me. So I'll just say like, hi, I'm Julia. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a soon to be graduating folklore master's student at Berkeley.
UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley. And I am a poet. That is my most reliable creative outlet. And I really like to cook.
This is something we have also definitely aligned on over the past year, is your love of cooking nourishing, comforting meals. Julia loves all things egg related. That was my first impression of you, is you would bake a lot of quiches. Because you're like, do you have a pan I can make some quiche? And I was like, I mean, you could like use my cast iron, like go for it, make a quiche.
Yeah, true.
Then,
I'm also just lazy, and quiches, like you make one quiche at the beginning of the week and then you have breakfast for the whole week.
That's a good point. I used to be a big quiche person, and I must have eaten too much quiche. So here are those elements that I grabbed. So now will you tell us a little about your mom's style? Do you have, you said dragonfly, so we're definitely going to keep that as a possible centerpiece.
I think my mom is a little bit bolder than I am, actually. So she's done a ton of traveling. So she has slightly more chunky pieces than I.
So we can use larger beads today.
Yeah.
So these are like an apatite stone. So it's like a dark blue stone.
Delicious.
This is going to be a good hour.
God, I hope so.
Okay, that's really helpful because, so we often like to mix. I also gravitate towards larger beads, but I like to help them stand out by mixing in some like smaller beads to them.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to like let you play around for a second. So say if I were to put a dragonfly as like the center, it would go this direction unless we do some fancy work to turn it the other way, which is possible. If we connect it to both strands, how complex are we gonna go? Let's keep it this way for now.
That's fine, yeah.
And would you put some bead elements with that you enjoy? And there's also some more blues next to you, should you want.
How do I open these things? Like this. Wow, these are all so beautiful. I think it's interesting because like this is blue, but it has like a hint of purple in it, right? So much pressure.
So Julia's currently looking at one of my blue, more gemstone bead trays, and then I have like a crystals blue as well. If you're looking for more crystally elements.
I like I think what I would like move towards is this being like the brightest color.
Okay.
If that makes sense, and then like other things being like, you know, like slightly more muted.
Ooh, okay, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
These are some nice little top drill drops. I've had these for ages. You can see I've never used them. And I've always been a big fan of like sea green.
Yeah, because like I think even more than this one, like this one's nice, but like this looks like a scene to me. Folklore means storytelling. So like this looks like the pond that the dragonfly would also exist in, right? Because it's like all the colors.
Okay, you're giving me an idea. I saw something. There was some like, you're saying natural elements now.
Yes.
Essentially. So there was, in that tray, there was some small leaves.
Can I Vanna White it for you? Maybe, let's see.
So in this other tray here, this would definitely contrast. These are like a fairy leaf. or they just have a little of this vitriol shine. This might not work in the same palette, but if just someone bold, it would, depending on the type of bold color they like. I'm going to show this possibility. But this takes us out of like the monochromatic
right
vein that we were in.
It's interesting because I like the way they catch the light, but I think that they're going to not feel like natural. They're going to feel more like neon.
So we want to stay much more in the natural
I think so.
vein. I like that. This is helpful. You're good at very specific feedback.
I'm glad to hear it because yeah.
Here's just a bag of greens. I'm gravitating towards a little bit of green now.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Sally says, actually, I haven't looked at the comments for a moment, so let's catch up for a second. Sally says, did you include my favorite bead for Julie to play with? I don't think I did. I show the same bead on like every stream because I'm obsessed with it, and I'm convinced anything goes with it. It's like a pink bead, but I think it wouldn't be.
Did I find something that didn't go with your pink bead?
No, I would still do it. I would still do it, but I like where you're going with this already. Peggy's asking, did I tell you how I use our cast iron?
I think so. Unless this is like an inside joke that I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't find like my metal bench block for hammering a few times now, and so I'll just grab a cast iron and use that.
Yeah, because it's not going to hurt the cast iron.
Oh yeah, nothing can hurt that.
There you go.
But it's very loud. Very, very loud. And Alicia says, congratulations on graduation.
Thank you.
Awesome. Alrighty. Let's keep going. Okay, you're giving me ideas now that I can kind of offer you some things to respond to. I'm dumping out some bead soup over here.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, when you have like a mishmash. I can't quite say it. So we have this green bead soup now. And what we can do is just kind of pull elements that you think could go into it. I really like it. You said you like matte beads. These are like, I see little matte drooks in here, and they could kind of be part of another strand.
Oh yeah,
to run alongside
it,
because you wouldn't want like two really heavy strands next to each other necessarily. But I think we basically should start stringing.
Okay.
And you'll kind of get a start to see what it'll look like. So I grabbed. Beading wire comes in a lot of colors. It makes it quite fun. And this one happens to perfectly match the dragonfly.
Wow, you did that on purpose.
Of course. Of course. It also happens to be one of my favorite. I keep it around. This is Soft Flex in Tanzanite. And I'm going to cut some, let's see, if we're going for bracelet today, yeah?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to want to give ourselves some extra room to eventually be able to kind of crimp it up. I'm going to give us 2 strands to work with. And then there's some fancy tools that can like clip onto the end. Did I grab those ahead of time? Like, probably not. Sometimes I just use kitchen clips for that purpose because it works just the same. So if you want to pick out for a few seconds while I go grab clips, some more of those matte beads to add into, we should be good to go.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but there's a lot of pretty colors. So I'm just going with that. I like these ones too. They're not matte, but they're just that like almost see-through.
Okay, let me give a close up on what we got going here. So I'm gonna give you. This is really fancy here with our. So that'll basically mean we can design onto this.
Okay.
But then, since we haven't closed any of the ends of the wire.
If it's not a vibe,
we can change it. There's a lot of flexibility in beading. It's kind of what can be both overwhelming and lovely about it.
Nice.
So I can kind of get it started to give you some ideas,
sure.
And then you could see which the elements you like. In this tray, I keep a lot of my spacers. And I'm a big fan of mixing in, I was thinking like silver might be nice. With the green, not to darken it too much, because otherwise like we could do copper, but silver is usually a pretty safe bet, I think, for gifts. What do you think of that for that combination? We got weird light.
Oh yeah, the sun just decided to pop back up again. Can we see the copper next week? I'm sure you're right, but
I mean, I'm someone who uses copper with everything, so I would not mind. Here is copper next to the green.
I don't know. I kind of like that.
You like the copper?
I think because like there's like some undertones in that.
Oh, I absolutely agree. You don't have to convince me to use copper. So what we can do then is there's just basically a million choices of however you like to lay your beads together. I often like to make like sections of beads to kind of not make it look too distracting going a million directions. So let's say I put a few of those on. We can put, you can even double up.
Yes.
I know, can you believe it? And then say you put a few more of these. This could even just be the start of like a pattern. And folks watching the stream today, I hope it's kind of a nice inspirational moment just to kind of like grab some of your own things and put, I don't know, make a gift for someone. That could be our theme for today for our Boba and Beads day. I didn't even know we were making a gift today, and now it's like twice as fun. I thought I was going to get to give a gift to you.
Well, you know, I mean, as much as I would love that, I just realized honestly, it wasn't even in my head until I saw the dragonfly bead. And then as soon as I saw the dragonfly bead, I was like, oh my God, I could do something for my mom.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's just like an idea of like, that shows us that the green and copper works nicely together.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. As a copper lover. So then from there, do you want to do, I'm going to just try something. This is like a very kind space to try whatever you like in, and we can offer ideas. We can, and remember, we can go for different strands should you want. Like those could be part of their own strand.
Okay.
And you'll start to learn how every bead is a little different. That is a top drilled bead.
Right.
Which gives it like a little bit of hang from the strand.
I do really like that.
So if you put like a little spacer between them, they can kind of have this nice like draping quality.
Okay. Yeah, let me try that.
Because I can give you some like round copper too.
Oh my God.
To give them like some space between them.
Wow, so many elements.
Endless possibilities of beads.
I know.
Truly endless. Now I have to find more copper options for you because I had originally gone for this, like, I was grabbing some, it seemed like you liked whimsy, so I'd grab some, like, the most random classes I could find.
I do like whimsy, but I'm really digging this, like, earthy vibe.
I really like it, too. And if you want less space between them, I give you a different type of space. There's literally, the saucer actually also might work there, too.
So if I want to try that, would I just take these off? And try
you can turn them, or you can keep adding to it and see what you like, either way. I'm going to get the other strand going, actually, so we have more. I know I'll try to complement what you're doing on a second strand. This is a good challenge for me to see if I can read where you're going.
Yes, and my
exactly
completely random. Okay. Do you need access to beads that I've been?
Oh, that's fine.
The way of this is like a really pretty soup you called it.
I really like that soup there. Actually, I don't remember where. I think that was from the shop a while ago, actually.
I think that one is too big.
What would you say? Do you tend to? Are you someone who likes to wear jewelry?
Me? I wear a decent amount of rings.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so y'all, look at this ring right here. Doesn't the honeycomb look really familiar on it? I think. And that bee charm, I think someone took a tier cast honeycomb and turned it into a ring. Because I sell this honeycomb in the shop.
You've told me this, yes.
I have. It's still very exciting to me.
I'm like, I am not disagreeing. I just, I can give you the name of the small shop in North Carolina if you want to.
I know, it's just like, I don't even know how they would have done it. Because it's like, they might have recast it into a ring. It's kind of fascinating to me. So I'm over here now with some more beads from the soup.
I don't think your strand is. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There we go.
It's blending in with the.
Yeah, but now there's. You could like we're just because we're far away, but we do have.
Yep.
We are in the same color family, so
We
it could work. I'm gonna let you just do the drops on your side of the strand, and I'm gonna see if I can. I'll do like a simpler type strand.
Yeah.
Possibly.
How do we feel about those as spacers between them?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Cool.
It's a different type of bead. It's like it's hard to know what exactly will fit between them. I think that works. If you want something simple, you could do like these are like a seed bead, and it might be it'll be less noticeable.
I don't mind them being noticeable. I just I think that these, because they're top drilled, like you see the space between them more.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think that's necessarily bad.
Yeah, and once it's rounded on a bracelet, it'll also have a slightly different look too.
That makes sense. Also, I don't know what kind of camera this is, but I feel like my hands have like never looked so good. Like, can I just like take a picture of my hands like under this camera?
Oh my god!
Not true to life, folks. That is not what my hands normally look like.
Yeah, I've never known if the iPhone does some wild magic in the background. I always felt like the camera looking on to me always felt like it smoothed out things a bit. I was like, I don't feel that great today. It's a very kind camera. So if you're curious, I don't know if we still have these in the shop, but these were from our January bead box, which was this like winter mornings theme. It was all about like calm in the snow and like I feel like much more aligned with where like you grew up in like you were partially North Carolina.
But Massachusetts. Massachusetts, where I was 11 years in Massachusetts.
So I think I feel like it almost aligns even better with your family.
Yeah, my mom's actually from Massachusetts.
Let's see if I can, there we go.
Okay, I like this little like clustering here.
Okay, here's what Julia has. So you're doing like almost like a color blocking where you have a section of one bead.
Is that a thing?
Oh, absolutely. I love doing sections of beads. How I'm currently seeing this is if we can do, I'm kind of seeing 3 sections of this bracelet where there's going to be could do a little bit more of the green.
Ooh, yeah.
Then we can put both strands through that dragonfly, come back out, and we could do a totally different thing. We don't have to continue the green element because you did mention heaviness, like your mom is okay or enjoys chunkier beads, so maybe it'll be trigger with the 2 strands of how, but we could involve some larger beads on the other side.
Interesting.
And this could be like more of a blue side of the bracelet, possibly, and then we could mix a little bit of green into it to kind of tie back. That's one idea. If you want to keep it simpler, we could just continue the green, which I'm really liking this green a lot.
I do like the green.
And it would definitely be like a more cohesive design, possibly. Many ways to do it.
Many ways.
And we can also try it and then restring it later if you want to switch anything up.
Yeah.
But I do like this green combo you came up with. And then you can, if you want, we can also always dangle off like from the bracelet.
Okay.
Like other like little elements.
Oh, like you were on the necklace that is the, I saw this on your shop website. What is this called?
This is my moon necklace.
Moon necklace.
But it's an example of even if it's like much smaller than this, from the bracelet we can add little.
Yeah, of course.
Other little elements, possibly like near the clasp is a nice place to add some dangles. Okay, so I'm gonna give you back your strand. Okay. If you want to do, you can tell us when you want to put on the dragonfly.
This is
the dragonfly could also wait and be with the clasp. That could be an easier way to do this design.
Ooh.
Is that there'd be the dragonfly and the clasp could connect to it, and then the rest of the strand is greens.
That could be really pretty.
Okay, I like that.
Idea.
Okay,
cool.
So that means we can each kind of continue with our strands. Okay. We want to go. Does your mom have big wrists, small wrists?
If we use mine, like we'll be close.
Okay.
As like a
And we're gonna use a lobster clasp and put we'll make a little chain and make a little adjustable.
Cool.
I think will work nicely.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna have a few minutes of strand making, and then we might be able to put this bracelet together then.
Wow.
Alrighty,
Awesome.
have at it, and I'll try to keep in line with what you're doing there.
What do you think? Like, I just keep going, start the pattern over again?
Or you can do a new section of beads with a different bead, and then you could come back to bead. This is your bead party.
And I know, it's just I'm not usually given this much freedom.
Oh, let me steal your beads.
You just pulled that right out of my hands. It's okay. I'm learning. You gotta fight. You know, fight for your right to
bead.
To bead, exactly. To bead party. What if?
You can also give me elements to go into my strand if you want more elements involved.
I'm just wondering what it would be like if our strands kind of seemed like they were talking to each other, because
if we went back and forth.
Well, yeah, because we've got a decent amount of these beads and these beads.
Yeah.
And right now mine doesn't have any of these beads, and yours doesn't have any of these beads.
I love this. So I'm gonna, and I could also involve some of the drops in my side of the strand. This is not typically, I think, how jewelry is created. With two people going in their own choice, basically.
Yeah.
But who knows? We might have the next bead hangout setup that everyone needs to try.
In spoken word or slam poetry, this would be called a group piece.
And would those be written on the spot, or you kind of collaborate and then present it together?
You usually write them together, or you take a piece that somebody has already worked on and you expand it, and then you have to practice and memorize it. So like the delivery is a little bit different, but it's similar. This is just like a more shortened process in some ways. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking as I was stringing these, it would be really interesting if you wanted to do this with poets, to string like via syllables. So I've been told that I write in 5-7-5, like a line with 5 syllables, a line with 7 syllables. So you could take a poem and turn it into a piece of jewelry by using the syllable count of each line to dictate the pattern.
Oh my goodness. Wait, that's really cool. There's a lovely member of the community, Robin, who will spell out things on a bracelet using Morse code.
That's cool.
So it'll be like F off. And they're fantastic. Because you could kind of, what you're suggesting is like a nice and subtle way to kind of, and then it could, I like that idea a lot. How are you feeling about your strand over there?
I'm feeling great about my strand.
Julia's, I can see, is contemplating their strand.
Both
here,
admiring and contemplating.
I'm gonna hold them up so folks can see. I like that we're not aligned where like the drops are there in the middle. So that's a good sign. We're kind of each working in these like inch sections, and it actually works really well. See, we each currently have 3 sections on our strand. So if we kind of keep going that way, I think it'll actually work quite well.
Well, I was actually thinking, not that we need to be so matchy-matchy if we choose not to, but if I then incorporate some of these blue beads after this, it'll be like we're basically doing the same thing, but like
heck yeah,
against each other, sort of.
Do it.
Okay, well, where are the blue beads?
I took them out of here, so that's the thing of soup. There's 2.
Okay, no, I see.
They're there. That's good. Now I have to decide where.
That's fine. You've stolen mine yet again. Maybe this is the true issue with collaborative beading.
Giving up control of the creative process.
What? No, I don't do that.
Let's see if I can get a strand through these itty bitty beads. Okay, I indeed can. You also mentioned you like the owls on the site. I found one singular owl currently in my and it was black. I was like, oh, kind of contrast.
It's cute.
Put it out there. And I did. I'm curious to. Okay.
Ooh, those are pretty.
They're pretty. They're a different color tone. And you seem to be gravitating towards the greens. And I really like that. So I'm following you.
No, I'm basically just like shiny.
I think others will understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
Woo. I did well, you don't have to do it directly. On my strand, I put spaces between them, but there's a really nice look to them without the spaces.
I think especially because of the what you've chosen for underneath this thing, the string.
Yeah,
you can, but because the color's complementary, it just kind of looks.
I really like how you did it, actually. Almost more. I might even switch that up when I go back to there.
That way we've got some that is space focused, some that is not space focused.
I'm gonna let's see how we're doing time. So it's 46. Let's keep working on our strands the next few minutes and see if we can get them to about dragonfly. So we're gonna want about 6 inches of beads. I'll run and grab a ruler eventually. So currently you're probably at about 5 inches. So just add a bit more, and then let's see if we can put it together.
Do you have any more of the spacing beads in different colors?
Oh.
Not the, sorry, these, whatever these are.
Oh, the little seed beads?
Yeah.
I do. Let me here's another. It's a similar.
Ooh, shiny.
That's a stone. That's apatite.
More apatite.
I love apatite.
Cool. I can work with these.
Yeah, those could actually. They're a lot fancier than a seed bead, so I always gravitate towards stones. I might use some of those in my strand then here. Love it.
Stealing my ideas.
I know. There we go. These are an apatite saucer we had in the shop maybe in 2020, I want to say. I haven't had these for a while. They're really fun. Kathy says, Jess, do you know what the pale aqua coin at the top is? These are some Amazonite coins I just bought for myself years back because I just thought they were pretty. I think I eventually made a few earrings out of them. Right now they're just looking pretty there.
Do we have any more of these spacers?
You want the small ones? And if you need any other copper elements, I can possibly.
Don't tempt me.
Let's see if I can get these saucers are so small. Okay, that'll work. Ooh, shiny. Wait, this is so nice. Is anyone beading along with us right now? Are you going to make your own? Anyone else making a bracelet? So we declared today palette day in the shop.
Okay.
Because on the website I posted some like palettes of new items that kind of were coordinated together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also posted we have a like a social Facebook group where folks can share what they're up to, what they're making. And I challenged everyone to set a timer for 10 minutes and make their own palette using their own beads, which is kind of what we have done here, where I like put out some things that were complementary, and then we can draw from that in the piece, letting like the beads inspire the piece more so. I'm gonna experiment with breaking up my apatite with.
Ooh.
If I just do like one little copper bead, and then I'll keep going with the apatite.
I like that a lot. How many apatites are you doing?
I did.
That's a strange thing.
Pretty helpful question, though.
Yes.
I did 5.
Okay.
I always try to do odd numbers.
So not true. You did 6 here.
But it's 3 and 3.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It tends to be, and like people often will go towards odd numbers in designing for about the balance of it, or who knows exactly why, but it like just works nicely.
I am getting so excited to set up my new apartment.
So yeah, Julie and I are both moving very soon. I'm moving a little sooner just because the timing of it, and then you move it like next month then?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Beginning of next month.
Julie's gonna have their own space.
So excited. I mean, I will miss Sam dearly, of course, but we'll always hold Sam's bead shop and its proprietor. Is that what you call yourself, proprietor?
Am I a proprietor? I suppose, technically, if I know what that word, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a proprietor. Owner, yeah, sure. I run Sam's bead shop.
Yeah, you do.
With some cool people, like my sister, Jessie. You know, even Jessa worked for Sam Beads, another former housemate of ours, worked for Sam's Bead Shop for at least a few months. They wanted some part-time work, and I was like, do you want to come bag and tag some beads?
Always a good
They were
time.
great at it because they're a very like organized person.
Another earth sign.
I'm not that.
Yes, which makes your organization all the much more impressive.
My moments of organization.
Yes, because I mean, some of us don't even have to try.
You don't try? Wait, you don't have to try?
I have to try at many things. Being organized is not usually one of them.
That's impressive.
Like if you give me a list of tasks and a day in which to do them, I will organize them. Like I will optimize them by organizing them in the most efficient way possible. Like especially if it involves like driving places to get from one to the other, I will like set them up in such a way.
Can I tell them about the day you viewed for various apartments?
Oh yes, go for it.
Julia set up on Google Maps a perfectly mapped out plan. You could you put in all the destination points. So it made this like almost perfect loop, visiting apartment to apartment to apartment to apartment, all perfectly timed so that every place could be seen. And then it must have worked. It must have been helpful in some form.
I think it worked.
I am realizing we kept gravitating towards small beads, which is fine. We could always add on another strand too. I'm gonna grab a ruler.
Okay.
So we can kind of know where we're at. So the community's been hoping that through today's beading session, you might become a beader.
Oh wow.
That is the big question on the table today.
That is the big question, huh?
So, because I'm curious, what kind of crafting do you currently gravitate towards?
Well, I've gravitated towards nothing because I have had no time. But every year for my birthday, I make my family do a craft with me. And so, like, my mom will pick up supplies and we will paint picture frames or make pottery or do cross stitching or whatever. We just spend the day doing a craft.
That is all the whole family?
Mm-hmm.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah, it's like that tradition in Iceland for Christmas the night before. They all get books and then they spend all of Christmas Day reading books.
That's all? What?
Mm-hmm. I think so. That's what the internet told me.
Okay, so our strands are a decent length right now. So let's just make sure they're kind of matching in a way we like. I'm almost wondering if we needed another section of the drill. What? Beads down. So here are our two strands. A little bit of strange lighting today, but hopefully folks can see.
Yeah, it keeps being cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny. This is a true Bay Area experience.
I'm wondering if it could be helpful because I'm kind of now seeing this. It's going to be, the side's a little heavier right now, so I'm tempted to put that towards the heavier side. And then, any thoughts so far?
What I'm wondering is, like, if it might make sense to reshuffle slightly, like, because I like actually all the elements where they are, but so that these are not right next to each other, but instead, like, maybe end one strand and begin another, or
like
something
more
like
if
that.
those were more like there, basically.
Yeah, like
farther.
maybe with like a little tiny thing that starts it, right? Like just a small bead to start, and then this, and then but like one clustered here and then the other cluster at the end of the other strand.
Oh, so you're one here and one on this side.
Yeah.
And not just keep it at two clusters.
I mean,
well, I could flip this around. There's no rules to this. And see if that gets us closer.
Well, yeah, I think that does a little bit, at least for me, because before it felt like they were gonna not bang into each other, but like I didn't want them right up against each other, but like. And
I can also adjust my strand and just put shifts and beads over to the other side, so those can be farther down if you want. Yeah.
That could be cool.
So then it would be the dragonfly, which oh no.
How many beading accidents do you have, like, on average? I don't. Oh, are we muted?
Oh, we're good on it.
Okay.
We're doing our mic through here.
Just I saw the little thing.
Yeah.
Because I am at like that would be an amazing number to see. Like when I bead, I randomly drop. We drop like at least 3 beads.
Oh, there's another one.
Yep.
sometimes folks, including me, have dropped just entire trays.
I think I came into the living room one day after you had done that.
I actually think it was Jessa. Jessa came through and closed all the blinds and with their hip bumped the beading tray that I kind of had precariously set.
What?
And all the beads splashed onto the ground. It was this beautiful mix of fire polish beads, and they were everywhere. We were finding those for weeks. Okay, this is helpful. I know you have a cutoff at 5 o'clock, so why don't we end showing you kind of how this is going to get.
Sure.
Are you happy with the top strand? If I adjust the lower strand, are you kind of happy with the balance of the top strand?
I think I am, yeah. Okay.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how this kind of comes together. And might as well just go ahead and put, we can kind of see. Oh, am I going to be able to crimp it from this side? We'll crimp the other side. It'll be easier. Okay. Okay, because this side, if we're happy with kind of how it is. Was that my strand? I think the 5, doesn't matter at this point. But if you're happy with it, I'm just going to go ahead and crimp it and show you how that works. I happen to have these ones sitting here. Little gold crimps. Usually folks would like kind of color match and use a copper crimp, but I often will just gravitate towards what is around me for simplicity, because you want it's just one little element. We can always cover it up if we want to. So here's the basic of crimping.
Okay.
So it's this little bead we're going to crush, and ultimately it'll kind of clamp our wires to make a loop. So I'm essentially going to go ahead and thread my wire back through the crimp bead.
Okay.
Pull it through a little bit.
I think I knew that you had so many just like tools of the trade lying around.
So many my collection is probably small. Folks, like, you can really start collecting tools because each one is just a little different. So here's the basics of crimping. Essentially, we're going to put a notch in the middle of that metal tube. So I currently have, as best I can, my strands separated. So I can kind of put, sometimes it's hard to tell if they're crossing each other. They're not crossing each other. So I had grabbed the crimp tool before we started. And do you see that little, at the bottom, there's like a little tooth, looks like some lips?
Yeah.
So that is what's going to put the notch in that crimp bead. And basic crimping technique is super important because it's what keeps everything secure. So see how we now, there's a notch between there. So it's already decently sturdy, but we can now actually bring the whole bead together. So we use the top part of the crimp pliers, and I'm going to squeeze both those sides together. And what has happened is, see, they've now sandwiched together.
Really secure.
And nothing's going to happen to that wire.
Yeah.
So those beads will basically just get, will get pushed down. And I can go ahead and trim off extra wire.
Lovely.
And that's how we would finish that piece. From there, there's some options, but basically what I'm going to do after you head out is I'm going to essentially attach a clasp there, and I'll also have the other strand there with another loop, and they'll both attach into the clasp, which will attach to some sort of loop that we'll come up with for the other side of your bracelet.
Perfect. That sounds great.
And that'll be your piece.
Wow.
When is this being gifted?
My folks get here on the 12th.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's fantastic. So I will do my best to make you proud.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt whatsoever.
Because Julia is 5 o'clock and Julia has a hard stop
Gotta go turn in a thesis.
Which is amazing. You have been working on this thesis the
whole
whole
time
year.
You've known me.
Yeah, truly. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
And we're going to sit here for a few minutes and finish up your piece.
Sounds good. Thank you, Sam's Bead Shop community, beading community. Nice to meet you.
Have an awesome day.
Thanks.
Okay. We didn't do a very good job drinking our boba.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, fine. Shall we finish the bracelet, folks? So the request from Julia, I think it was a good one, is to have, currently this is how the strands are laying together. I want that section to be farther down. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off a section of beads on this side. Bye, Julia! And maybe something, let's even take off a few more. So now they're really gonna be on opposing parts of the bracelet. And I might come back. I hope this was my strand, so I'll take liberty in redoing this side of the strand really quick. But yeah, let's not commit too much right now. So let's just put a clip. If you have a bead stopper, use your bead stopper. I collected all my bead stoppers and put them somewhere safe. No idea where that would be at this moment. Let's see, Peggy, I have to learn about 2-to-1 connectors. The bracelet would look so much better. I've used various, essentially I would 2 loops to 1 loop and then we could put the clasp from there. Yeah, I've made some of those out of wire too. I don't tend to mind the look of just kind of 2 strands connected. I'm kind of looking at some of my components because sometimes you can use a repurposed connector to accomplish a similar thing. Seeing what I had in copper. I do kind of like this, and I could use that as a means to connect strands to one side. We'll leave that there for now, but it's not a 2-to-1 connector. Alrighty, let's finish the bracelet. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on how it was watching this process. I know it was like a little different than what we typically do, but I've been kind of into lately of just kind of experimenting a little bit more. We've obviously done a good amount of classes in the shop, but we haven't done something like this where like involving someone who isn't a beader and kind of getting to hear some of their perspective. It's so cool to hear like Julia's thoughts on how like beads and poetry could like mash together. I think that's so like that's something I would have never thought to talk about. Okay, I want those beads that I took off, and I'm gonna try to use those on this part of the bracelet. And I know there's comments I missed because I've been busy chatting with Julia. So once I get this strand done, I'm so curious to see what folks have been chatting about. A quieter comment section often means folks are beading, which makes me happy because that's the whole point of today, is just to have a nice time, hang out with some beads, hang out with some friends, drink something that makes you happy. I used to go to this boba shop all the time. It's called Mr. Green Bubble. Shara probably knows it. And it used to be just a couple blocks from the shop's old office back in 2020, I think. So I would go there often. Okay. I really like that they pushed us to go towards copper. I think that was a really nice call because it really does work with this green. I'm still curious to see how this blue, it probably is going to stand out a fair amount, and I hope in a nice way. We do have the appetite, so we now have involved a blue element, so we won't be just totally out of the blue, and I think could work. Ooh, these cubes are really cool. These were in that bead soup. It's like a matte check cube. Let's go for it. Do a little surprise element. Julie's be like, where'd those come from? Oh, we put it in for fun. I cannot believe Rachel and I start moving tomorrow. Like after this stream, I'm so excited to start packing up more. I've packed up the kitchen so far. I had most of the stuff in this kitchen because I'm someone who loves a fully equipped kitchen. So very quickly I acquired all the nice elements of a kitchen, and I have like every appliance. I love appliances. I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but like my mixer and my blender and my Cuisinart. I like having all the things in case I need them. Even though most of my cooking tends to just be like a knife and a cutting board and some cast iron. Let's see. Julia liked these smaller green beads. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us like a like, subscribe. We're like gonna hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube soon, which is incredible. Alrighty. It got a little long. So let's see. You do need the bracelet strands to match decently in length. Okay, well, let's crimp this end and come back to the other side. I've always said I'm never identified as a fast beater. I like to just kind of take my time, touching the elements. I know folks often enjoy like a faster moving class. I don't know if that's something I'll ever like will ever be me, and I've kind of finally come to terms that that's okay. And because I think this is how more people bead, is just kind of like sitting there. It's like not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be something that's just easy and nice, and there's no deadline to it. It's creation making. Atan says, I've taken my KitchenAid on vacation. Are you serious? I assume you were driving, right? What you must do a lot of baking or pasta making? What do you use your KitchenAid for that much? Back when I didn't have one in college, I had to like use my hands and a spoon. It was horrible. Okay, I'm putting a crimp on this strand because I really want to be able to actually hold up these strands together and see where we're at lengthwise. Oh my gosh, I think we're gonna have such a lovely piece by the end of this. Okay, if I connect both those strands together like with a jump ring, I'll be able to hang it better and kind of see much closer what the current bracelet is looking like. Yeah, this is definitely a design on the fly. That is true, which definitely does slow things down a little bit. But I think there is something to be gained. I love watching like someone like Sarah design on the fly because they have a whole wealth of knowledge. They're drawing from to design on the fly, and often end up doing things I would have never thought of. Alrighty, got these both on a jump ring so that we can actually see how they're looking lengthwise. Oh my god, it's looking so cute. I wish there were a few more drops maybe on one of the strands, but it could. Let's see, let's let it hang. Like that middle section. I don't want to redo that much of the bracelet, but that was my strand. That was my responsibility. But maybe if I let it sit with it for a second, it's really not too bad. And this is going to be the main element that's probably going to be put here out of the bracelet. So I think that's okay. Let's keep going. Who remembers where I put down that bead tray that I was using to measure? Anyone see where I put it? There it is. I tend to like end up making my bracelets really, really long. My goal is like about 7 inches with extender. Currently I'm at about 5.5 inches of beads. So this could end up being a little long. So I'm going to take a few beads off of each strand to give us some wiggle room as we keep going. Okay. Can you believe how long it takes to come up with 2 simple strands of beads? This is the element of being I enjoy the most, is just because you see me on the live, so it's like I like putting things together that that's even if they're in like really simple ways, I really like seeing what actually ends up, what an item actually looks like put together with another pretty. Okay, I'm calling it. That's our green section. An hour later, we have a green section. So let's see if we can get both of these strands through the dragonfly. I didn't actually test if we could do 2 strands, but we don't have to get 2 strands. There are other ways we could do this. Because the holes in checklists are not huge, and we all know that. Like, sometimes you gotta get creative based on the beads you have. My hunch is saying it's not going to be easy to get both through, so we might not want to play that game. Let's see if I can put them in at the same time. Come on. This is soft flex medium, so it's not like a super fine beading wire. Okay, we're going to be able to get 1 strand through. That is fine. What we can do is put both strands through the crimp, though. Because crimps are meant to put multiple strands through. As Sarah Ayler. Okay. It's doing Sarah Ayler proud. So essentially, just one of these strands is going to continue on through the dragonfly. So once I do this crimp, we will not be able to touch either of these strands. So we get this kind of adjusted with the tightness that we want. And we could choose to keep that strand and crimp it on the other side, possibly, because then that could just kind of be another design element. So I actually might do that. So then you could actually see the beading wire nicely. I don't think I've done that in a while. But I am having some trickiness adjusting the strands. So it does look like we ended up with one that was a little shorter. And let's see. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means one's going to drape a bit more. So let me go ahead and clip that as is. And we can get the feel of that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Before I make any adjustments, do you think we should do something about that? I did end up with 2 different length strands. Let me know. I'm going to take a pause for a second. Sometimes when you're too deep into it, it doesn't help anymore. Boba break. Hi, Ada. Try to catch up on some of these comments here. We should have good weather for moving. It's just cloudy. I haven't checked the weather, but I don't feel like it's raining this weekend. Char says, I think you should have a chopped, Sam's Bead Shop edition. Send 4 people a random box of stuff, then they have to create during a live. Are you volunteering? Are you volunteering, Sharon? I've always loved ideas of like that. Christian says, the short strand doesn't seem as flexible. Can you give it a little room? Yeah, I could give it, I'll just give it some extra wire. Let's see. have some exposed wire. Actually does give it a lot more. I love catching while the comments shower up. Y'all are so funny. It makes it very fun and entertaining. Okay, I gave it a little more wire, so we will have some more exposed, but I actually think it helps those beads lay nicer. And the whole point of using the softflex wire is so that it's okay if we see the wire. So I'm liking that a lot more. I'm gonna crimp it. I think I'm gonna crimp it. Christine thinks I should add a couple beads to the shorter wire. I'm not sure if that, I think it's like a solution. I think it would accomplish like a similar thing to what we just did of adding that like 1/8 inch of wire. The strands are not long. Currently we're at a 6. No, we're good. In total, we're going to be at a 6-inch bracelet right now. So I actually don't think that's too bad because add a clasp, add potentially a little connector with the clasp, and that'll be 7 inches. And I'm gonna also put some jump rings or a chain to keep it flexible. So I think we're actually, for once, have not gone over. I made a bracelet that's insanely long, like I often do. So I am crimping it. Here we go. Let me get my strands uncrossed. I do always appreciate all the ideas that folks offer during these streams. One time someone told me just to make something out of yellow during the stream, and I think we just did, and I was not expecting to make a bright yellow piece. Some folks are shaking that I'm crimping it now. Also, the crimp is not working. It doesn't want to be crimped. Alrighty, we're good. We're crimped. We made a call, and I kind of want to keep that strand exposed there because depending on how you wear the bracelet, you could hide it. And I'm kind of into. I could cover that strand, fill it with seed beads, so it looks a bit more intentional. He says, "What's the red thing?" My clip? that red thing? Alrighty. I cannot believe that concert is finally happened. It felt like it was a million years in the making. And I feel like I shared a lot of the progress of it with this group, with the bead community. Because I remember I went live like right before I had auditioned for the solos and then told y'all when I got them, and the concert was happening, and then the concert wasn't happening, and then it got postponed finally. Okay, I really like this little strand of seed beads. I think we're geniuses. And then I just felt so lucky for everyone who came out and just supported during the concert. I was not expecting that much support from the community, and it just like meant a lot to me. And I was pleasantly surprised at like how well it went. Like I felt pretty comfortable being on stage again, even with how long it had been. Okay, I'm doing the strand a little long so that it'll have a little bit of movement there. I think it's kind of fun. It's time for another crimpy crimp. So Shar, I was trying to go back but I've never been able to get YouTube to show me the live replay comments. I want to know what y'all were saying. Because a couple people have texted from my choir, have texted me like, dang, these comment section, Sam really had a lot of people there. Who are all these people? And like I think a lot of them have figured out by now what's going on. But I can't find the comments. I got to see all the comments that folks made on Shira's post on Facebook, but I didn't see anything else. Also, I'm not paying enough attention to my crimping. Okay. Yeah, okay, it worked. Okay, we got our little strand. I did a little tight, so it's a little standoffish, but we're going with it. I think within it, it'll look okay. Okay. Let's see, what did Julia want? Okay. We are still at 6 inches of beads. I would like to finish this bracelet and feel good about it. So we've decided, I think I still want the clasp to come from this side. So let's go ahead and put on the clasp. I keep my copper jump rings in a separate place for some reason. I don't know why I ever did that. I think for now I will use this silver jump ring to not keep folks waiting. Or we could go ahead and end it there. Let's go ahead and end it there. I'm gonna go do some digging, finish up with the proper findings, and I'll post a picture in Gem Chat with the final bracelet and then show it to Julia. We'll see what they think. But we have a bracelet, something like that. Nice and simple, kind of has a little bit of whimsy with the dragonfly and some little extra elements we put in. I think their mom might really like it. Let's go ahead and end it there. Dewey asked if the choir performance is on YouTube. Yeah, it is there. Sometimes I have a hard time finding it. So the easiest way is Shira's post on Gem Chat. She put a direct link to it. Vanessa, most of the beads that we're using today are just things I've had in my stash for a while. That's always the risk I run of using beads from my stash on a live, is that they're not necessarily beads from the shop or beads that are available, but more so me on a mission to use more of the things that I already have, which is also something I like to implore to all of you, that we all have a lot of nice things, and it's fun to make some things that feel old kind of new again. Alrighty. Natan says, will you crimp the chain onto this? I got to see what I can find. I'd found some chain recently, but I was also potentially just going to make a chain out of some jump rings to make it adjustable. Alrighty, everyone. I hope you had a relaxing hour here with Julia. I'm so glad you got to meet them. They are awesome, and I hope it's not the only time that they'll say hi on the stream, because I think they might have some potential as a jewelry maker, and they have to make something for themselves soon, eventually too. So I wish everyone a lovely weekend. I will see you. I definitely will see you on like Tuesday. But I'm excited to get my studio set up in the new place. I'm gonna have an actual full beading desk. I have all my tools back. My sister will give me back all my tools at last. And I just can't wait to do some more beading lives from the new place. Alrighty. Happy Mother's Day to those celebrating. Indeed, Brooke. Everyone, have a great weekend. You all are the friggin' best, and I always love spending time with you. Bye, everyone.